Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the It Doesn't Matter podcast. And we've got myself, John, and we've got
the Dominican Dream, baby. This is Papi Platinum.
There he is. And we've got the host of the show, the Prince of Punk. We've got the host of the show.
I'm the notorious one. I am Dom.
Boom. Man, that gunshot was delayed. All right, we're here to talk about WCW Fall Brawl 1997, and we'd like to give a special shout out to Daryl Colassi for giving us a suggestion to do this show. And, it was a fun show, but before we get into all the its and bits and little bitties, Dom, what do we got going on with Fall Brawl 1997?
1997, one of the best years in wrestling. So this show right here, it has War Games featuring Team WCW. It has the Four Horsemen taking on the NWO, a modified version of it. Has some scrubs in it, but it doesn't matter. But we're going to get right into the show.
Is Virgil in there?
Nah, it was no Virgil sighting.
Yeah, I know.
No Virgil sighting this show.
No meat sauce tonight.
Nah.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, boy.
All right, so the show takes place in Winston-Salem, North Kakalaki. We have Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Mike Tenay on commentary, and your boy Larry Zbyszko. He's going to be joining the commentary a little bit later. But they kick off the show with a video package of the Four Horsemen in the ring. Arn Anderson talking about his spot, how he's going to give it to Curt Hennig. And then they show the NWO and Kevin Nash talking about his spot, losing his dog spot, his ball spot, all them spots.
The liver spot.
The liver spot. Anyways, they mocked the NWO they mocked the Four Horsemen the whole time. And this what brings us to Fall Brawl 1997. Woo!
Jesus.
We know we know what's gonna happen in the show, but did you guys see what was gonna happen? Like back then in 97?
Of course not.
No, we weren't paying attention to that.
It was brutal, man. We will get to it. So we will get to it. That's all I got to say about that. But you're right, Dom. 1997 was probably one of the best years in professional wrestling history. Doesn't matter what side of the Monday Night War you were on, WCW or the WWF. You just think about the other channel going on right now. Bret Hart just became the WWF champion for the 5th time. Shawn Michaels just turned heel, and you had 2 major heels, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And where does that leave the Hitman? But oddly enough, let's not talk about the WWF while we're talking about WCW right now, because the NWO was at its apex. It was still running hot, and you mentioned that they had a bunch of J-Brones in the Fall Brawl main event War Games match here. But you know what? They could get away with it at this point in time, because without the Hulkster brother, that dumb idiot, then they just had the NWO B team. But that would be the main event for tonight. But there's a lot on this show that we have to get through. And like I said, it was a good show.
It was.
Yes. All right, so our first match of the night, we have the Hall of Famer, Eddie Guerrero, taking on Chris Jericho. And this is for the Cruiserweight Championship. Oof. When I first seen this on the card, I got excited for this match. But the match started off too damn slow for me. And I like that technical style, but it was just too many rest holds, man. The fans were chanting, "This is boring. Really? Eddie sucks." But it picked up a little bit. Eddie, he was so damn good. He kept working on Jericho's back. And then, what I miss, what you really don't see today, unless I don't see in the AEW, because I barely watch AEW, you don't see surfboards a lot. Eddie has Jericho on the surfboard.
Yeah, that is a move that needs to be revived for somebody. And as a technical wrestling fan myself, I love that style. I know you said it was slow, but I loved it personally just because it reminded me of Bryan Danielson of his main event when he had this past weekend. Was this past weekend or the following weekend? Either or. it's just how he starts off slow, technical. Yeah, the fans are gonna get bored because they're expecting high flying moves, but hey, bring it down to the mat, and then obviously the man of 1,001 moves, arm bar again, here and there, arm drag again there. Chris Jericho obviously showing his mat technique that he had back in the day that I wish he could bring back, even just to piss off some of these fans, because he knows the fans just cannot stand him. So,
hi guys.
Yep.
Dick.
Get a quick snap mirror, get a quick arm drag, and just sit there. Like, oh, you think this is boring? Oh yeah. So,
oh yeah.
So's your sex life.
Oh.
Bye. That's Chris Jericho right there.
Thank you, Renee. That would be a story throughout the entire pay-per-view. I would think that a lot of the matches just seemed really slow, really a little bit too long. And, remember, this is 1997. That is the style of that time. And, let's not denigrate it today by today's standards. But I would say, I wouldn't call it an exception, but maybe because it was the first match of the show, I was more forgiving for it. I didn't hear the cat calls for it being boring or anything like that. But I do recall this match being, specifically put on Eddie Guerrero's DVD. It's like, what importance is this match? It was a title match. It was for the Cruiserweight title. And I got to tell you something of note from Mr. Jericho is that he was in that surfboard. Yeah, specifically. And man, his facial expressions, they edged on the border of goofy, but he was really selling. He was really, really selling. I'm like, you kind of turn away from that. You don't want to look at someone wincing in pain, but you're watching it and you're watching Jericho's facials, and it's just kind of like, they just don't sell like that anymore, anywhere. And he was, like I said, he was right on the line of being a little bit being too goofy. But anyway, the match as a whole, you're just watching this, and you're watching two. That's right, Chris Jericho is not a Hall of Famer, but you might as well put him on that first ballot whenever he gets back in WWE's good graces. But I look at it as two Hall of Famers going at it, two legendary pro wrestlers, and I just thought they had a really great match. It was technically extremely well done, and it you could call it dragged a little bit, but I just say that's just part of the time period it was in, and I really like this match, and it should be studied by everyone for years to come. You can pick a lot out of it.
Now, did Mysterio already debut by then?
Yes.
Rey Mysterio?
Yes.
So that's what it probably is. So everybody's expecting that Rey Mysterio quick, like Psychosis and all them, like high-flying 10 minutes where it's just nonstop action. This isn't one of those kind of matches. This is more of that akin to the ECW where you may have your hardcore matches here, a lot of blood and gore, but just bring it back to the basics. This is the mat wrestling that you need to know and you should have in your arsenal for any wrestler that's coming up now, then, forever.
It is a cruiserweight title match, so it doesn't really fit. Up and down the show, these things didn't fit. I guess if you're watching the product at the time, it would make sense, but this is for the cruiserweight title. And as Booker T would say later on when they try to push Chris Jericho to a higher tier, I ain't messing with no cruiserweights.
Yeah.
Jericho.
Poor Chris, man. That sucks.
All right, so the finish of the match, we see Chris Jericho on the top rope trying to go for a brain buster. That's what it looked like. Brain buster type of suplex, but Eddie countered into a cross body, and then Eddie went for the top rope and hit the frog splash. He got the 1, 2, 3, and Eddie Guerrero is your new champion.
He also snuck in a wicked Uranagi rock bottom in there right before the finish of that. So that was cool.
So seeing that suplex, it caught me off guard. I'm like, wait, did Jericho fuck up? What happened? And they showed the replay. Then they showed Eddie, kind of like twisted body midair, and it was interesting.
It just shows Eddie's athleticism from back in the day too, because when he became that main event guy, he didn't need to do all that stuff. He still had the frog splash, obviously, and he had that I love that thing he does from the apron into the
that slingshot over the top
yeah,
rope. Yeah, man.
I love that. I don't think I've seen anybody do it quite like him. So
Dominic.
I gotta go back and watch, but he's got some timing to do. But
I like
yeah.
Dominic's version. He does it in slow motion, so I can see every bit of it.
Best heel in the business, man. Keep doing your thing, brother.
The match started off slow, but this match matters.
It does.
Definitely.
Check it out. All right, so our next match, we have Harlem Heat with Miss Jackie taking on the Steiner brothers with Ted DiBiase.
No.
So I vaguely remember Miss Jackie being with Harlem Heat. Like I know they had him. I know they had Sister Sherry, but this is kind of a blur. Her being there. Do you remember, John? Can you recall?
With Miss Jackie, absolutely not. Not with Harlem Heat. I knew she was there. She had a feud with Disco Inferno for the cruiserweight title, and I knew she was there in the company, but I don't recall her ever being with Harlem Heat. But watching her in this matchup, her attire looked like the action figure model for her action figure when she went to the WWF, because all they did was spray paint Sable black, and they put the exact outfit, the exact same mold on her. But anyway, she looked, like I said, she looked like the WWF action figure of herself in the future.
I know what you're talking about too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The red and black outfit with the red shoes on. I know you
call that the repaint. I wonder if they actually. I don't know this. I wonder if they made any other Jacqueline action figures out there. Let's look it up. Anywho, but yeah, the Steiner brothers taking on Harlem Heat here, and I, as I was watching this, I was thinking. I actually watched this out of order, so I watched this after the main event because I was catching up on myself. And I was thinking, I'm like, I mean, I know why they did WCW book the way they did. I understand they're trying to get massive heel heat on the NWO, something that was never really done in history, maybe. But it's like you could have had a kick-ass WCW team without shuffling everyone around, and you could have had that with the Steiner brothers or Harlem Heat. Not really.
Yeah.
Steiner brothers were kicking ass, and they were cool, and they were respected, and they were loved. And I know Scotty, he turned and joined him the next year, and everyone, the Luger, Sting, everyone, but except for DDP and Goldberg. But they could have had something here, and they could have been in the main event instead of, Hennig and Mongo. I know the storyline, but WCW could have been cool, man, instead of being knocked down as being uncool all the time. But this matchup, it's kind of short, but the Steiner brothers were managed by Ted DiBiase, and man, Ted DiBiase, he watching some random promos, as he was supposed to be the leader of the NWO, he was supposed to be the talking head, but he got replaced by Eric Bischoff. So then that left Ted DiBiase with nothing to do. So they turned him face, and they had him with the Steiner brothers, where he did even less. And where did he go after this? Like, he was great manager. He was great as the $1 Million Corporation talking head. But after his WCW run, I think he just disappeared.
Question real quick. Sold Out. The NWO Sold Out pay-per-view.
The Mexican jumping queen.
Yeah. 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 What year was that? Is that 97 as well?
The first Sold Out. There's only two of them. I think
it was 90.
It was 97.
7, yeah.
So earlier that year. And he was on commentary with.
Yeah, he was on commentary with Bischoff.
Yeah.
So he got kicked off. Shortly after that, roughly.
Oh yeah.
I think about a month or two after.
So kind of like the Giant. He left and he came back, but DiBiase never went back to the NWO. But
I see why Vince turned him back heel and babyface all the time. It started in WCW. Oh, you could do it over there. You could do it over here. Jesus.
Yep. All right, so let's get to this match. We see Booker T coming out to the ring with a New York Yankee hat on.
Why?
I have no idea. Because we're 125th Street, sucker.
Yeah, man.
You from Houston. Stop fucking around.
Oh, man. But, all right, Larry Zbyszko, he gets on commentary. Mike Tenay is gone. And, I'm digging this match right here. This is a physical fight. And you know how I feel about Booker T and Scott Steiner and how I talk about how their careers parallel. And they kicked off with Stevie Ray and Scott Steiner, and Stevie was laying it in on Scotty.
Yeah, he was.
Oh my God, that was it was beautiful. Then Scotty turned it around, then he did the damn thing, and the fans, they just love the Steiners at this time, especially when the dog-faced gremlin Rick came in the ring and started doing the Steiner lines.
Yeah,
the place went nuts. It went. You can't go wrong.
No.
With the Steiner brothers, they were so high, it just sucked that they had to break up a year later, but there's only so much you can do, because I guess the winners of this match had the opportunity to face the tag team champs, Hall and Nash.
Yep,
that's what they were saying on commentary.
Yep. So they became the number one contenders after this match.
Yeah,
because we want the gold, sucker. But yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. The match was short in comparison to the one previously to it, but with those four guys going at it, you don't really need a lot of time. They gave you everything you needed. The Steiner lines, the Stevie Ray, which I was shocked he started it. They even said it on commentary. Like normally Booker T's the one that starts it and he gets the hot tag, but good call on that one, whether it be the Harlem Heat or somebody backstage, because the match started off a little bit different because I was expecting Scotty to take over, but since Stevie Ray was in, I was like, okay, Stevie gets that, get the dog fleece gremlin to get that hot tag. In terms of tag teams, I like the way they cut off the ring at times. It wasn't like a FTR match like we normally would see. It's because they're more old school than these guys are, but man, that's how you work tag teams and with these four guys. They know how to work with each other. They got each other over, and even though one team won over, they both got over. So they did their damn thing, man.
Never knew Scotty or not Scotty, Stevie had who was there? Rick on his shoulders and Booker with the drop kick off the top ropes. I didn't know that was called a heat seeker. Never knew that.
No, I didn't know that either until I heard that. I was like, uh-oh, MJF.
Strap, did you know that?
Yeah, just like you said, the missile drop kick off of the tag team maneuver. I mean, he would still call it that when he was a singles guy, like the missile drop kick, the heat seeker. Of course, the Harlem Hangover.
Yeah.
So,
I love the Harlem Hangover. That was dope.
But
I didn't see too many people doing that.
But Rick Steiner, man, he took one hell of a fucking bump. God, oof, right on his big traps.
Good thing for his traps. Yeah, I was about to say, if it wasn't for Scotty and Rick having those traps, man, somebody else would have had a broken neck a lot sooner.
The crazy thing is, Rick was bigger back in the day. He wasn't as big as Scotty, but
he was bigger than that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got to go back and watch.
Oh, yeah. If you look at his old NWA, WCW stuff, that dude was jacked.
Well, Scotty was smaller, but he got jacked.
Yeah.
Eventually. Scott was always a larger dude, but he just...
Not like that. I don't remember Scotty like that.
Watch the documentary.
Okay.
Speak for yourself.
All right, but the finish of the match, we see the Steiners get the win with the clothesline suplex combination. There you go. I enjoyed the match. It was a little bit short. I wish they kicked off the show with this match.
Yeah, they probably could have.
Like, let's see more. I mean, hey, you can't get what you want. It's like, hey, I want more of this. Oh, we'll give you more of the other one. Like, I don't want that. I want this. Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
You want chocolate ice cream? No, I want vanilla. Screw it, strawberry.
And they have double the amount of people. Unlike the match following this.
Yes. So our next match is for the television title. You have the Ultimo Dragon taking on Alex Wright.
This should be for the Cruiserweight title.
Hey, we'll do the dance. Larry Zbyszko said, "Is that dancing? I thought that was stupidity."
That's called cutting a rug. I saw Tony Schiavone cutting a rug the other day.
Oh Lord.
Oh man.
Alex Wright at this time, he's been in WCW since 95, I want to say.
Yes.
He had a good look to him. He could have been like a good baby face, but they didn't really.
He could have been the ring Hennig, sure.
Maybe
they tried with Berlin.
Did Alex Wright have more potential? Absolutely, but
was he able to talk or his promos? I don't remember any promos they ever gave to him, to be honest.
I think he talked more when he was Berlin.
Okay.
Yeah, and Alex Wright was just like that dancing machine. That's if you want to call it that.
All right. So he's basically like a young kid in the club, basically. I mean, I remember his gimmick fairly well, but it's just I figured they would have tried to expand on it. And then you think about it, WCW, whenever you were slotted at a certain pay rate, you're not going any further than that. You're not going from mid card to main event, or you're just a jobber and that's it.
Like the WCW television title was just a big experiment for the booker, because earlier in the year it was William Regal went to Prince Iaukea for a time or two. Prince Iaukea had a little feud with Rey Mysterio for 2 pay-per-views in a row, and somehow it got to Alex Wright here, and he's feuding with Ultimo Dragoon. So what the hell's going on? But this was an example of a match that was going too long, and just kind of like, I mean, they're doing a fine job. Technically they're doing very well, but it's just they're not over. They're not over enough for it. So it was just dragging.
So back in the day in the early 90s, a TV title for WCW had a time limit. You had TV time limit only, whatever it had been 10 minutes, it had been 15 minutes. This shit was just dragging. It was bad. Mm-hmm. I was going to ask Strap Facts about Alex Wright, but I was curious because I was interested in Alex Wright back in the day, so I had to look him up. Alex Wright today, he is 49 years old. He has his own promotion, and he trains somebody in the WWE who's in there right now. Giovanni Vinci.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's still active. You won't call him that, but yeah, he's still around. All right, so let's get to this match.
Very good.
Ultimo Dragon, he's your baby face. People can't stand Alex Wright. They love the little dance, but they can't stand him.
Some drunk guy in the row G really liked his dance, if you noticed that.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I know there's a lot of things in the show. I know there's a lot of people like Alex Wright's dancing, and everybody loves the flex. And they kept, every single time they show like somebody fit in the ring, they kept showing that one random fat guy with a collar shirt on in the front row. So
always. I don't know why they do that. All the time.
Motivation, man.
That's it.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so this match right here, Alex Wright, he was giving Dragon the business. I've never seen Dragon get beat up like that in a match.
No.
Never. He dominated the whole match, and I don't know, my notes just said that this match is just too damn long, and basically Alex Wright won with a German suplex.
Yeah.
Just a suplex.
German. It's a German suplex.
Hermann suplex.
That's it.
Yeah, so this match didn't do nothing for me. It was just too long.
Pass.
Yeah,
Pass.
I think we all agree.
I mean, it was well worked, but I got other things to do.
Yeah, these guys were not over to the level they should have to put on this match.
Yeah,
10 minutes in and out, get out.
Seriously, could have been the Steiner spot.
Could have been.
Yeah, could have been.
All right, so after this, we see Mean Gene Okerlund backstage, hyping up the 900 number. Then we see the NWO run toward the locker room. Then Gene is looking to see what happened. He knocks on the door. He opens the door. Oh, my God. Curt Hennig. Curt Hennig's laid out. When I seen this, I thought about John. I was like, I wonder if John has an impression about this.
Impression?
The Mean Gene seeing Curt Hennig laid out backstage.
You just did it right there, man. Freaking Mean Gene. Oh my God, he was going nuts on this stuff, man. Mean Gene was earning his. He said he lost money on the phone number because NWO could walking by him, but he got his money back.
Yeah,
this nonsense. And he just, I mean that
he lost money because Perfect got laid out. So he's like, "Damn it, I just lost some money." That's my interview.
Damn it, Hennig, calm down. Get some help in here. Oh my God.
Oh, we're sending it back to Tony. Oh, geez, I'm about to lose some money as it's going back.
That shit was funny.
That was good. Mean Gene, man.
Man, I just hope one day we have an announcer or backstage interviewer that can have some type of character like that. Just be yourself and be like Mean Gene. You know, you don't have to be all show. Just go with the flow. Hey, you see something's going on, like, oh, great, look, they just ruined my interview.
I'm waiting for the return of Adnan Verk.
No.
Who?
I know who though.
I forgot who I was listening to the other day, but it said that AEW needs a Mean Gene.
It's Renee.
It's hard, man. That's Renee.
It is hard.
I mean, Renee is the closest to being a backstage interviewer with, free reign to almost like say whatever she wants. So
it was Jesse Ventura. He said that.
Jesse Ventura, you sound like just incredible during our live podcast at Horse Power Cigar Lounge in beautiful, safe and bright Montville, Connecticut. Come join us for our live show sometime in the future. Where it's like you're just saying stuff, but it's like you don't even know who Renee Paquette is. And I wouldn't know unless I watched her AEW. Right.
He don't even watch the product. He even said he don't watch the product. Like
I listen.
Whose house?
I respect the legends and all, but please, as a fan, you cannot comment on something you're not watching. That's like us commenting on things we're not watching. Dom, you say you don't watch AW. Okay, we get it.
I don't know. I mean,
but it's annoying.
Do you have to not listen to Taylor Swift? Get that algorithm to say I don't like her music. I mean, hey, she got a couple of tunes and whatever. But I remember I saw her on an episode of CSI. I was like, this chick's kind of cute. Who the hell? I think this show she was like a one-off actress. It's like, oh, Taylor Swift, huh? I'm like, all right, well, whatever. See you later for the rest of my life. But every generation has a Taylor Swift.
When the Chiefs play,
huh? What?
See your Sundays when the Chiefs play.
How?
Yeah.
On Peacock?
Sure. No.
Just kidding, guys.
She'll be cheering on her man, Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce's gonna clap that. Anyway, you ever open a kitchen cupboard and just shut it many, many times? All right, enough of that.
That's what they did to Ric Flair's head, and later on.
Oh man!
Oh,
see now.
Yeah.
Now nowadays they should do that. I mean, they've kind of done this a little bit, and it kind of doesn't make sense because technology is so all over the place, But using still photography and not showing video is effective, I think, because I remember I didn't watch the pay-per-views when I was a kid. I only watched, the Nitro, the follow-up, and the still images are like, look what happened last night at Fall Brawl, and you have Curt Hennig smiling or getting ready to, Curt Hennig has a mischievous face, and it's a still photo of just him holding the cage, and it's like, yeah, and then you just see Flair's head there, and then you see the next, 2 seconds later, I didn't even think he bled. Ric Flair bled on the pay-per-view.
He was holding his head. Yeah.
They just showing some blood on his blonde hair and like the aftermath of Curt Hennig shoving that door. It looks so vicious from my memories as a kid, but when I seen it on the pay-per-view, I'm like, that was nothing. Do it to me right now.
Yep.
But yeah, and sometimes they do that. They, don't show like, say, the Claymore kick, but they'll show the pinfall,
Yep.
It seems more like something has to do with like, kids, ratings or rated G or something like that. You don't want to show the shot, but you can show the aftermath.
That's how they get you, so you can watch the replay.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's what they did back in the day, and
yeah.
Monday Night Raws would be accused of this earlier, like in 95, 94. They wouldn't even, like, you would naturally tune in to say the Raw after the 93 Rumble to find out what happened, but they wouldn't even talk about it because they wanted you to order the pay-per-view replay. It's like you tune in, like, I'm watching Raw. Like, what happened at the Rumble last night? Who won? What are the results? And Vince is just going on and on. Oh, well, next week on Raw. It's like, well,
they can't get away with it now. Technology and social media is just going to exploit everything now. So, they didn't talk about the winner from last night. We'll tell you about it on our podcast.
Every Monday
on Facebook, you see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So Taylor Swift and Fall Brawl. What's going on here?
We always do it.
She's hardcore.
That's it.
For a puppy.
All right, so our next match, we have Jeff Jarrett with Miss Deborah taking on the Iceman, Dean Malenko.
Oof.
Man,
I enjoyed this match. It was a physical match right here. And Jeff, he did everything he could possibly do to, break down the Iceman. And, yeah, he did it. Jeff, he won with the figure 4.
I was shocked, honestly. I figured Dean Malenko might have pulled it off some way. I like how one of the commentators was saying these are both second-generation people that have been in the business since they were born, so they know how to get in each other's heads, and the mind game just doesn't work for Dean. But Jeff Jarrett just got enough to throw him off. So, yeah, the figure 4 was shocking to me, but good back and forth, though. If Dean was 6'4", he'd have been world champion. Just my opinion.
Dean Malenko was the PWI Wrestler of the Year for 1997. A strange move, probably to indicate to the company saying, hey, we can put anyone at number 1 of the PWI 500.
True.
Play along, guys. But no, yeah, just the same, very interested in this matchup. And, there wasn't really any shenanigans, really. So that's why it was very interesting. You could watch this kind of like the first match of the show. You can just watch this again and study it in a different way. Just two guys that know how to wrestle, the technique, and you had a clean finish. And I mean, Dean Malenko would go on. I mean, think about this. This was for the number 1 contendership of the United States title. And Mongo was the U.S. champion, and I guess Jarrett would go to face Mongo the next month of Halloween Havoc. I'm not sure.
The winner of this match goes face Deborah's man, her other man.
But Jeff Jarrett would be in the WWF by December. So I'm not. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, where would Deborah be? Like, was Deborah on ice until like the summer of '98? Now, once Jeff Jarrett had his head shaved by, good God, another guy that left the WCW, X-Pac. Like
Deborah's on scholarship.
Deborah would get there eventually. And here's one fun memory I had with Deborah is that, you got the WCW magazine. Of course, you had the pull out poster. And Deborah was the poster of the month. And she was the new girl in my bedroom. I remember
that dude was holding the front row.
No, not that one. It was close, but
no.
It looked something like that. I was like, hey, that's not it. I remember.
Great, John. Now I got to repaint the walls. Shit.
Hey, paint the walls white. So I remember my sister going to my room and looking at the poster, and she's like, "I don't like your new girl. She's not that pretty." It's Deborah. What are you gonna do? But yeah. So.
Why is it that happens all the time when there's a pretty girl in somewhere? They're like, she's not that pretty.
It was just funny. You had Sable up there, and who else was Sunny maybe, but then here's a new one, Deborah. It's like, oh, she's that pretty. Like, all right, cool.
Now you got Naomi up there.
Oh yeah. There's a crack in the wall, so I had to put something on top of it. Feel the crack. All right. So.
All right. Quick strap facts moment.
I think we already had one.
When did Jeff leave WWF to go to WCW?
No, I forgot how he exactly showed up, but he was there, like 1 year. Like the previous fall, his last appearance in the WWF was feuding with that marble mouth, great guest of the podcast, Mr. Ahmed Johnson. But that was his last feud in the WWF before he just went away for months, and then he showed up on Nitro one day in the fall of '96. But
so it was the last time he left WWF. That's when he stuck him up for the money.
No. So this time is '97. So in December he would come back and do this NWA thing with Jim Cornette. It was really unsuccessful and dumb. And then, he kind of went back to the country singer boy thing for a couple of months. Wasn't working. Faced X-Pac at SummerSlam at MSG. Got his head shaved. Don't piss me off. And the new Jeff Jarrett with the shaved head and the guitar. Well, he's always had the guitar, I guess. And then he teamed with, Deborah, teamed with Southern Justice. And he would be there till No Mercy, 1999, facing China in a Good Housekeeping match where he did hold up Vince McMahon for some extra money. And he made his way to WCW shortly thereafter for Mayhem.
Jeez.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett, a man of the people, man of the Cody Rhodes of his day. Just jumping ship all over the place.
Basically.
He knows what it's all
back
about.
Back and forth.
Man, when Jeff Jarrett was at All In and he came out during that Gauntlet Rumble thing, oh man, the freaking
place went nuts.
Woo!
I know. Music went off. I love the theme song, by the way, and I was rooting for him. I wanted him to win that.
I'm telling you, they re-edited that song. They took out a lot of lyrics because, like, the old lyrics are probably all about him being the king of TNA, so they redid something to it. And then I also got used to his new version of the song with Jay Lethal mixed in too.
They always got to do that shit,
but it was
always
cool.
Got blended in.
But yeah, this Jeff Jarrett Dean Malenko match. It reached that slow point also, but it was a very, very compelling match, and it does matter.
It does.
All right. Yes, it does. All right. So after this, we get a backstage promo, one of the NWO vignettes. We see the NWO talking about how they're going to retire the Four Horsemen and Conan. He was trying extra hard in this promo. Seemed like he was just trying to figure out his gimmick. That was just
crazy.
Thought. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't seem natural. Like the way how he is. Well, I'm not saying now, but later on in his career. But it just like the shit he was saying just felt so forced at that time.
Yeah.
What a random NWO team, man. Kevin Nash, Buff Bagwell, Conan, and Six, Sean Waltman.
I think it only makes sense because they had to do the parodying. It's like, who can do who? And that's it. That's the only reason. You couldn't have Vincent do Mongo.
Who the hell's Kevin Nash supposed to parody?
He was Arn Anderson.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, the impetus of the whole thing. And X-Pac was Flair, and Bagwell was Curt Hennig. And was anyone Benoit? I don't recall that.
Ooh. I don't think so.
You can't do that.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
Can't do it back then. Can't do it now.
Nope. Oh, boy.
But if you guys forgive them, I don't know why they can't just forgive me.
Let's just say, to quote Family Guy, shut up, Meg.
And not the movie The Meg with Jason Statham.
Yes.
All right, our next match would made no damn sense to me, and they had a lot of time. We have Meng and the Barbarian taking on Mortis and Wrath with James Vandenberg. Platinum, who is James Vandenberg?
I don't know.
Father James Mitchell.
Is he? I don't know that.
I just told you.
Okay, just want to make sure. You always tell me and I always forget.
Still looks the same.
Yeah.
The Sinister Minister.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, but I didn't want to look like a jackass.
One of the great guests on the Art of Wrestling podcast with Colt Cabana. There's a short big list of great guests of all time for Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast. That means we should steal those guys and get them on our show, right? We need Cliff Compton,
lists.
Truth Martini,
Domino.
That's Cliff Compton.
Yep.
And just because he was just because he was on there very early in the show, the older Sean Daivari. I remember going to his website back then. They didn't have pro wrestling tees; they only had their own individual website. He's like, "Yeah, you can go to my website, buy my merch." And I go to his website; it's just this T-shirt of him and his Sheikh Abdul Bashir. I was like, I don't want that. No, thank you. I'll buy it and wear it when I mow the lawn.
You know who I wanted to get on the show, but Van Vliet got him? I wanted to get Muhammad Hassan on the show. I thought about that.
That would have been interesting.
The Italian stallion. Got him.
Yep.
Mark Capani.
Marco. Yep, Marco.
Still got a shot.
We don't want him no more.
Too late.
Guys, he don't do podcasts, so he already's on Van Vliet. He said everything he had to say. He got clips.
You like a teacher?
Well, guess we're looking for Rico.
Now. He upgraded.
Huh?
What?
Professor Marco Capani?
I guess so.
All right.
Well, let's look up the Las Vegas PD so we can find Rico.
This dude he just popped up in he did an autograph appearance. He had the full getup on and everything. Sideburns. I said, oh Lord, I gotta reach out. I gotta find him.
If only he was going to make an appearance at Polar Park in Worcester, Massachusetts on Friday, September 20th. If only. If only. But no, we get Sting and Kevin Nash.
Matt Riddle. Elias.
Bro.
Anywho. Bro. All right, back to this match. Bro, why did this match take place? Because I'm still trying to figure out after I watch this who's the babyface in this match between
Glacier,
Meng and the Barbarian versus Wrath and Mortis. Like, who's the babyface?
Probably Mortis and Wrath because they remind you of Mortal Kombat characters. That's about it.
Who's Wrath remind you of?
Shao Kahn.
Mortis Adam Bomb.
Oh jeez.
He did an interview with someone recently also.
Yeah, you tagged me in it.
Yeah, because you tag me, I'll tag you. You want a weird interview? I'll give you a weird interview.
Well, clearly they were just trying to fill time because there was no really rhyme or reason for this match. It was just put on just to kill some time, but
it was a long ass match.
It was. I'm not used to seeing a Meng and Barbarian tag match like this. I mean, these guys in real life would kill you.
I mean, okay, so children, many of which I have.
Yes, Dad.
Their taste of things are varied. You know, they like things that you don't think they would like or enjoy. And I remember I was at Walmart and I saw this kid holding a Yoshi Tatsu action figure. I was like, Yoshi Tatsu, of all people, not John Cena, Batista, or someone like that. Yoshi Tatsu. It's like, all right, that's very cool. So perhaps there's some child out there who just fucking loves the Faces of Fear. They just love Meng and the Barbarian. I can imagine that.
I did. I actually did. That's the crazy thing.
I mean, I lucked out. I mean, I really watched this show Fall Brawl in pieces because I'm old and I can't stay awake. So I watched it forward, backwards, up and down. And as Dom was mentioning this match, I totally glossed over this match. I did not watch this match. I missed it. I missed it. I have no idea what the hell's going on, or what you're talking about, what they look like. I can only imagine the boredom that ensued if you watch this matchup, the Faces of Fear and James Vandenberg's oddities.
Actually,
sorry.
For me, when I was watching it, I was actually shocked because of how, I know the Faces of Fear were dominating in the beginning of the match, but when Mortis and Wrath had their offense, it's always Mortis. He always comes up with some kind of new way of doing some type of offensive move that you don't think about it at that time, obviously, when he's doing it. And it's, again, to saying, who's better than Kanyon? Nobody. The guy could just make something out of nothing. And I would recommend just going back just to see what Mortis could have been because of who he unfortunately ended up being and his unfortunate suicide. We lost a talent that could have been a trainer right now. It could have helped AEW in its progress to continue growing. But yeah, the match was pretty much a domination of the Faces of Fear with interference of Father James Mitchell, fucking coming in when he's got the tongue and grip on both Mortis and Wrath. No, it was
Mortis and James Mitchell.
Yeah, it was Mortis and James Mitchell, and then Wrath came in with Vandenberg, whatever it is. And then Wrath comes in with his finisher, which was pretty cool. Big dude that can move.
John, I want you to visualize this. This caught my attention. Meng went for a back body drop on Mortis.
Yep.
As Mortis flips over, Barbarian catches him, and he lays him in with a power bomb, all in one motion.
Yep.
That shit was fire, bruh.
Yeah. I was not expecting that.
Even though Faces of Fear lost, but
yeah.
The Faces of Fear.
That was a dope visual.
Versus AOP.
The two most realistic badasses from back in the day, and they always seem to lose. But if they actually wanted to get into a real fight, I'm not going down, brother.
Oh no.
Meng doesn't do cunnilingus.
Meng honestly could have been the Brock Lesnar of his time, man. He could have said, "Nope, no job."
Meng is more like Meng is more Rusev than he is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So say it again.
Meng is more Rusev than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. That sucks.
No job. I got kids.
And that's right. I don't want to do a job, Mr. TK. And I don't have any kids because I'm now divorced.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. More Miro. Should have stole Penelope Ford from Kip Sabian when he had the chance.
Where the hell he at?
Who?
He still around?
Miro?
Kip Sabian?
Kip Sabian, he's been around recently. I have no idea why. I don't know what he has on TK, but he's still around. AEW original let his contract expire. He's been injured so much that he's just been extended.
Yeah, I remember that first year of his, and like he was cool in the beginning. Next you know, he just COVID happened and he disappeared.
I mean, he's got Penelope Ford. That disappeared too.
Disappeared like Kevin Kelly and the boys.
Yeah, that's.
John, you didn't hear about that?
Kevin Kelly and the boys?
Yeah, they got
the Tate brothers.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know why you put them together.
So they disappeared. They got fired.
I only have a meatloaf and a root beer.
TK getting sued.
Yeah, the whole Kevin Kelly thing is really sad, and it's just dumb if you ask me. But we'll see where it goes.
I don't even know. Can you tell me? Can you give me like a brief? What's going on?
Allegedly, hearsay on in the pro wrestling universe. Ian Riccaboni claims that it's too bad. There's just a beef between Ian Riccaboni and Kevin Kelly, and they kind of just took Ian Riccaboni's side on it and pushed Kevin Kelly off to the side. And I don't know. I mean, I like Kevin Kelly. I mean, he was freaking like the announcer of the year for like 4 years, and all of a sudden they put him on Collision, and they're not then they don't use him. They put Tony Schiavone back on Collision, and what the hell's going on? Like, what? And Ian Riccaboni, he's doing Ring of Honor, and they obviously tape things at the same time. But yeah, it was just like I don't know. I think just Tony Khan just took Ian's side and fired Kevin Kelly for allegations, Odyssey Jones, that he saw come up, and Kevin Kelly feels it's not right, and we don't know the truth. We don't know the real reasons why, so that's why there's going to be an investigation. So it sucks.
So what's up with the boys?
The boys, I mean, there's two sides to it. One is the one side is that they just missed a few dates. It could have, the excuse is they asked for this time off, but But
it was that Mohegan Sun when we was there with BDC and Cool Ray.
Yeah, I think something with the boys. I guess they missed a shot or two, and they were just like, "Well, you're not being professional. Vamos."
I mean, you can imagine that. I mean, I ask for time off from work all the time, so eventually can catch up to you. Like, hey, man, it's like, listen, I've earned that PTO, man. But in wrestling, maybe you can't do that so much. Remember when the Alliance first got together? WCW, ECW in 2001. Freaking Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler got heat for asking for a weekend off to do what? Go to the beach.
I remember that.
It's a dumb business. We're covering a dumb business, guys, and that's a fact.
Oh Lord.
Oh, give the girls a beach day.
Yes. All right. So after this, we got a 4 Horsemen segment with Mean Gene Okerlund, and they all talk about, Curt Hennig being injured, but what they're gonna do to the NWO, and Ric Flair is ready. He said, he's gonna put up a fight. That's what Flair did his whole career.
Yep.
And all right, so our next match, Scott Flash Norton taking on the Giant.
Big meaty man slapping meat.
I tell you what, though, the Giant, he looked impressive, man. Like his physique at that time, Big Show got it going on. But why was this match on the card?
I don't know.
So WCW could get a win over the NWO.
Why don't you take more time into your main event or Booker T and Scott Steiner and and give it to them instead of just throwing these matches together.
Yeah, that was always the biggest issue with WCW. They put so much effort into their mid cards and their lower tier cards, and then the main event you'd have like an amazing card, but the matches just were sloppy. The endings were horrible. It almost pretty much was one of the reasons that killed them from a fan standpoint. The financials is a different story. That's a whole nother podcast we can review down the road. But I mean, God forbid, you see a movie, you're loving it, and then it just cuts off. Why am I going to watch another sequel to this crap? That's basically how I can explain it.
So you talking about DDP and Goldberg?
Yep.
Basically, it was so good. Next thing, shit just cut off. Ran out of time.
Yep.
What Poppy Platino just said reminded me of the "This Is Your Life" segment with The Rock and Mankind.
I went on too long.
Coming up soon, later on this month.
Not that part in particular, but when Mankind brought out The Rock's ex-girlfriend. And he cut The Rock off. I don't know. That's all I remember. That's all I remember. Anyway.
Oh, you, okay, coach? You were the one that cut me? Then, doot. Get out of here. Preview of what's things to come, guys.
Him talking to the home ec teacher.
Oh.
You want to bake cookies, but The Rock likes pie or something like that. Whatever you said.
Yeah, let's save some material because we're running out.
It's coming soon. Who chose that show? Was it you or was it Strap?
I think it was me.
You chose.
Oh yeah, so
against what?
Strap chose. Oh, it was the head-to-head. So you chose the Stone Cold stunning Vince, Madison Square Garden later on this month.
Who did?
You did.
Uh,
I did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
And
okay, he chose This Is Your Life.
Oh, because we're doing 2 head-to-heads.
2 head-to-heads this month. Yeah.
So that means it's against a Nitro, right?
Yeah.
So what's so special about the Nitro opposite the MSG? Nothing.
We're trying to.
Raw at that time was like an hour show, if anything. So you had to.
That's 2 hours.
Sometimes
it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours. Nitro was 3 hours. Raw was 2 hours.
Well, that 99 one, yeah. Or was it 90? Yeah, 99.
That means one of you suckers got to watch the Nitro. the nothing happening Nitro.
Well, don't worry. I'll be watching both.
Well,
that's between y'all.
Can you imagine that the Rock and the Mankind doing that segment on the other channels? It could have been Flair and Hogan teaming up against Bret Hart and. All right, I'm just making that up. But Flair and Hogan did team up. They did have a tag team match as partners in the fall of '99. Anywho.
All right, back to Scott Norton. So
yes.
This match was nothing impressive. Scott Norton with a low blow, but he did hit Big Show, the Giant, with a slingshot. That's pretty dope. How he not the Dennis the Menace slingshot. I'm talking about you pick him up and you hit him to the ropes.
That was all Big Show.
Big Show nailing a heat seeker of his own.
Yeah, he helped him out with that one.
He was inspired by the Rainmaker with that drop kick. But Scott Norton, he was a big deal in Japan. He was IWGP champion, New Japan. Hello.
Flash.
So, I mean,
yes, but Scott Norton with a German suplex. But Big Show did one of these numbers. He kicks out. Then he does the kip up. He hypes up.
It's crazy.
Choke slam. Match is over.
You can see fans in the crowd doing like the hand.
Yep.
How the Giant.
That's how you know he was over.
He was over.
And then he was out of there. Because they didn't know how to book him.
Well,
2 years later.
2 years later,
yeah.
We went over this. They knew how to book him. The Giant, light years better than the Big Show. But the Big Show had more longevity, so there you go.
That's true.
What are you gonna do?
Giant had more hair.
The Giant looked like Chuck Palumbo.
It's true.
Yeah, he did.
Why was I watching that? Oh, all right, never mind. watching Star K2000 on my own. That's right.
I know. I like how you watch a random show. Did you see this? Did you just send me? Watch this.
Check this out. That's Clarence Mason Thomas.
I was gonna check out the Raw you was talking about from last week from the Psycho Sid episode, but I didn't get a chance to see it.
Oh, what an episode, man!
Hold on, I wrote down the date. Hold on, the date is for that
June 9th,
show.
1990.
There you go. Abel got it.
Holler.
All right, so our next match, and this match I enjoyed, we have Diamond Dallas Page and the total package Lex Luger taking on Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth with the Mighty Five.
What the hell was that?
Lex Luger just came in.
All right, and Macho Man's partner is Scott Hall.
Let's just say, as I'm watching this match, Nikki's like, does he really have to yell like that?
Oh my god! Ulysses had a big pet peeve. He hated the unnecessarily loud wrestlers, such as Lex Luger, such as an Albert. It's like, why are they gotta yell all the time? Like what?
I never noticed Albert, but Lex was so
Oh my
pronounced.
god, Albert was a screamer.
Oh,
Hey.
he really blew
Scott
him.
Norton, when he was fighting the Giant, if you see him and had him in the corner doing the back elbows, that's all you kept hearing. Like,
I must have not been paying attention.
Hey, Dom, just as an aside here, notice that button down on the bottom that says Mark Clip? I don't know if you have.
Yes.
There you go. You guys got any notes for clips from the show? Well, I think they built something in there for you.
There you go.
Notes. Taking more jobs away from real Puppy Platinos since 2023.
For real.
Anyway, but yes.
Clip it.
Don't give Lex Luger a Band-Aid and don't rip it off. I mean, look, okay. So okay, I was watching Stargate 2000, okay? And the co-main event was Lex Luger, the total package. Actually, we're not allowed to call him Lex Luger. He was only the total package, wrestling Goldberg. And
hold on, why can you call him Luger?
Because that was his new gimmick. He was just the total package.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was Mr. TPS. Wait, that's not right. But anyway. So, man, he 2 years later, just 2 years later, he's back on the roids. He's back on the drugs. He's looking more puffy than Randy Orton did at Bash at Berlin, and he's he's on the juice, man. He's obviously on the juice.
Oh yeah.
And his physique,
yeah.
it's still, muscular and all that stuff, but he looks terrible. Like he's gonna die very soon. But just go back 2 years to this Fall Brawl 97, and that's the Lex Luger, he could still be on stuff at this point in time, but whatever it was better for him because he looked fine,
Yeah.
And then
I'll tell you what, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I read Luger's autobiography.
Me too.
And he took the juice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was throughout his whole career, but I know during football, it was like 30 days on, 30 days off.
1 year on, 1 year off.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, Luger, once it became 1998 and then toward 99, things just went off the rails for this guy. But he was still the man here. He was still awesome. He had just been the WCW champion, knocking off Hulk Hogan at the Palace of Auburn Hills. So he's still really over here, and as was Diamond Dallas Page and Macho Man and Scott Hall. So this is quite a superstar match.
When he was the total package, is this when he was rocking the windbreakers?
Yeah.
And he just popped them off?
On his Pro Wrestling Tee store, this logo of his, it just says the total package. That's the one I've been wanting for years now as a tank top. Although in my better shape days, I would love to rock that. But the only package I'm carrying is a watermelon. It's fat. Can't see it. Can't see it right now for audio listeners. One person in particular.
Oh, boy.
That's right, folks. This is my real voice when I'm awake.
All right, so back to this match with DDP, Lex Luger, Scott Hall, and Macho Man Randy Savage. Like I said, Luger looked impressive. He got in the ring, and he was taking out Hall. He was taking out Savage, and the place was going nuts at this time. Then DDP gets in the ring, taking out both men, doing the same damn thing. I like that little pile driver, that front, how you lift them up for a pile driver, and they just...
That's the DDP pancake. The DDP pancake.
Yeah. That was pretty dope. That was pretty dope as well. But, the NWO, they do what they got to do. They start cheating, and they take advantage, and then Hall clobbers Luger out of nowhere, and the funniest thing ever is when Hall just clobbered Luger right between the two rings. Oh, my God. And Luger just got stuck.
I want to know, was that planned or did they just go with it?
I don't know.
I'd say that was the plan because it played into the finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely did.
But I've also seen many
But
adult films with the same bad storyline. I'm stuck.
I'll help you.
Oh, let me pull you out or put it in. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, so at this time we see Macho Man choking out DDP, Miss Elizabeth being real physical in this match. You never really see Liz like this.
Nope.
And next you know, the referee is trying to tell, Hall to... I'm not even sure what happened because Luger's already in between the ring and you just see Hall from the far camera and he just knocks out the ref.
Yeah, he put the ref on top of the top rope, like, just sit there, just let us do our thing. And then he brings him down and he just knocks him out.
And Larry
Another
Zbyszko,
ref comes in, knocks him out.
Yep, Zbyszko gets pissed off. He comes down to the ring, and then Tony Schiavone, go get him. Get him. Wait a minute. Wait, no, he's going to clip you. He's going to clip you. And then Larry Zbyszko, he teased him. He finally got in the ring, and then Hall, he's throwing his hands up, and Zbyszko throwing his hands up. You see Luger just crawling up, and I'm like, oh, I see what he's about to do. Next you know, Hall pushes Zbyszko. Zbyszko pushes Hall. Roll up. Both referees are out. 1, 2, 3. Larry counts the 3 count. Match over. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, like when did Larry become a referee?
I'm like, this is your finish? Like, we can't get another referee come running from the back
They
like
did.
CM Punk.
They did. They had Mickey J come in, and Scott Hall took care of him too. And this is Paul Heyman at One Night Stand 06 rules. Okay, the whole thing is so convoluted. It's like Taz at All In, just interfering. You know, it's like, yeah. I guess I thought Larry Zbyszko would have gotten a bigger pop at the time, but he got a pop, but it wasn't. I thought it'd be huger. You know,
WCW got the pop. That's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a really dumb finish. A really dumb finish.
It was.
Also short on time compared to how much we wanted to see.
Yep.
So.
Oh my God, match is over. Macho Man going crazy. Scott Hall looking drunk.
But we left. The finish left us wanting more, and the match time left the fans wanting more as well.
Definitely.
Yes. Main event time. We have War Games. Team WCW featuring the Four Horsemen of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Chris Benoit, Steve Mongo McMichael, and it's supposed to be Curt Hennig, but my man is injured since the NWO took him out earlier. And we got Team NWO. We have Big Sexy Kevin Nash. We have Buff Bagwell. We have Odelay Holmes. We have Conan. And we have 6. Random match mix. Oh, Lord.
Jesus.
Question for y'all before we get into this match. Who do y'all prefer, 6 or X-Pac?
X-Pac.
The name, just by name. I mean, yeah, X-Pac. I mean, I didn't like X-Pac at the time, you know, but.
Or 6-Pac.
Nah.
Yeah.
X-Pac is okay.
X-Pac. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I did like it, you know, when Mongo came to ringside and he's doing this as like a middle finger, but he's just doing this. It's like, yeah.
Yep.
It's like a big goofball.
I know that's what he just.
I like Mongo.
You still like him?
Well, yeah, you can say whatever you want to him. He won't talk back.
He'll smile. He's a Hall of Famer.
That's right.
He's something with Chris Jericho's nuts.
Well, different Hall of Fame.
Hi, guys.
Oh, God.
All right, so this match kicks off with Buff Bagwell and Chris Benoit. And, you know, you get these two in the ring. Benoit, he lays it in on Buff Bagwell, but Buff Bagwell, he turns it around. And then we get the numbers game. We get Conan coming in. John, you want to describe what happened when Conan comes in?
No. But typically, the War Games, you know, they have to have the heels have the advantage. That's the only way it psychologically makes any sense. But you had, you know, there's a question of who would be the starters for each team. You would think it would be 6, you know, because he's the smallest, probably the most, you know. But Buff Bagwell is a fine second choice, and of course Benoit might as well, you know, only next logical choice. Next logical choice, and you know, Buff is trying to act like, you know, himself. It's like you're up against a killer, a real killer, daddy. Oops. And yeah, Conan would come in and you know, run roughshod. Nothing particular. I mean, were you searching for something? Because I don't think anything memorable came out of Conan coming in. But it was first a 5-minute interval, then there were 2-minute intervals, and good old Michael Buffer is reading them out at random intervals of his own. 40 seconds, 15, 5. You know, the guy, he has an autobiography, and I would like to read it, but I feel like there's nothing in it. It's like 20 pages, then the rest are blank.
Oh, wow.
So,
all right, so after Conan comes in, we get Mongo McMichael. And Abel, any thoughts when Mongo got in the ring?
Nope.
All righty then. So after this, we get 6 coming into the ring. And, you know, Team WCW, the Four Horsemen, they're outnumbered right now.
yeah.
So you already know. All right, so after this, we see Curt Hennig coming out with a sling. He goes to Ric Flair. Flair, you know, he grabs something from the
You
sling.
can grab anything.
It looked like he grabbed something.
I know, it looked like it. Allegedly, he grabbed some brass knucks, but it didn't look like anything. He didn't like drop it or anything like that.
No.
But I was hoping for more Mongo Kevin Nash action. You know, just the two big guys in the matchup, and that didn't happen. So,
No. Well, Flair got in the ring. He starts cleaning the house, and Flair doing the Flair things he do with the punches and the low blow, and yeah. Then after this, Kevin Nash comes in. You know, Kevin Nash doing the big man thing.
you know, you would think Kevin Nash would learn from our recently deceased friend of the podcast, that big dummy, Psycho Sid, and not powerbomb someone inside the War Games cage. That's how Brian Pillman got hurt. But they did it to Ric Flair. I mean, you know, Six was kind enough to hold Ric Flair's hair, so he landed, you know, properly. But yeah, he got Ric Flair got jackknifed by Kevin Nash, and you know, I mean, once Curt Hennig got inside the match, they wasted no time turning on the Four Horsemen, giving handcuffs out, and then handcuffing Mongo to the top of the cage, Benoit to the top of the cage, and then just messing with Flair. And I thought, and I might jump on your words here, Dom, but you know, the finish of the match was it was submit or surrender. They did neither. It was only with Mongo saying, "Stop it," and they're like, "Stop it." Is that good enough? All right, stop it. I mean, I don't remember, but I thought at the very least Mongo, you know, Curt Hennig had the door right on Ric Flair's head. He said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it if you don't say it. And then Mongo finally saying, all right, we surrender. You know, no, they had to do some oral interpretation of Mongo's words. Just stop it. Someone stop the damn match.
It's crazy. All them guys is handcuffed. Flair is laid out, and do you quit? No, Benoit. No, Ric Flair. Ric Flair passed out, but oh man, just like how you just called it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And you see Curt Hennig, you know, doing the pose. Oh man,
that was weak sauce.
Did we ever get a Curt Hennig and Ric Flair match? Do you recall?
If it was probably a tag match.
I don't know if there's any proper follow-up to this angle. Much like all the pay-per-views that we review, you know, we're just left wondering what happened next.
Oh my lord! I mean, I gotta watch this.
I think you know, Flair disbanded the Horsemen after this, you know, and
when did Dean Malenko get on the Nitro or on the Four Horsemen?
I think it was like a year later because you know Ric Flair then probably went into that real life BS with Eric Bischoff, and he was off Nitro for most of 98. 98 was such a compelling, such a wild year. You know, Kevin Nash was out most of the year. Flair was out. And then, you know, Goldberg was on the rise. So, yeah. I mean, I think Goldberg and Mongo would face off at Starrcade that year, too.
Oh, yeah. That's
all
true.
Right. I'm on Google right now. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah. I mean, Flair and Mr. Perfect definitely had matches. Yeah.
Previously on the best and worst of WCW Monday Nitro, we visited Fall Brawl in 1997 for the sudden but inevitable betrayal of Curt Hennig. Ric Flair getting his head bashed in by the cage door, and Mark Curtis getting told to suck Scott Hall's you know what.
Yep.
Oh Lord. Oh my God. Let's see what the hell happened. All right, so Nitro starts off with footage of Ric Flair looking like he is dead. And let's see what's going on. Tony Schiavone is an absolute mess. He's refusing to call the show and walks off the set.
No.
Let's see. The NWO actually have heat since Bash at the Beach 1996, as someone said. And Hennig turned on the Horseman. Yep, nearly killing Ric Flair. What is going on? Also, the next night, that's when Curt Hennig comes out Ric Flair's robe.
Jeez.
And then he does a thing, my spot. The thing that pops his son, Curtis Axel.
Curt Hennig gets hit in the head with a beer can.
Oh no!
And Nash picks it up and start pretending to drink it out of it. Oh,
he learned that from his friend Scott.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Jesus, it don't even sound like it's interesting. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. One more thing. We're talking about Hogan, talking about J.J. Dillon.
Leading viewers to the promised land.
Yeah, nobody want to check this out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, follow it up on your own, fans and friends, and find out what happened after Fall Brawl 97 and write it in our comments. Tell us what happened. You do the work. You do the research for once. So just sitting at home.
Crazy. That's crazy. Your world heavyweight champion wasn't even on the Fall Brawl pay-per-view. That's just
Hogan?
Crazy. Yeah.
It is an exception when it's Hogan. Would you say the same thing if it was the tribal chief? Huh? He wasn't on a bunch of shows.
Acknowledge him, right, Dom?
Yeah.
You didn't even see any video package of Hogan. That's the thing.
Because if they did, they'd probably have to pay him.
Yep.
Really? You think
he got paid for? Yeah, he got paid for every pay-per-view he wrestled on, or he got a portion of the pay-per-view.
They're probably like, I get 10 guaranteed pay-per-views a year. This happens to be not one of them, but if I am on it, you're gonna have to pay me. You get paid for wearing a different T-shirt. And on a dare, he wore a necklace of paper clips.
Oh, Lord.
I think I seen somewhere he said, "Oh, I had creative control, but I never used it." Bullshit.
Yeah, that was yesterday in the Logan Paul interview.
Logan
Stop
Paul,
it.
your hero.
That's Ray's hero.
Your hero.
Not my hero.
Okay, your hero is the tribal chief who never shows up to pay-per-views.
Yep. Where do you think you learned it from?
Hey,
Dom's favorite.
If they only have 5 matches, what the hell do you expect them to do?
Be in one of those 5.
Be the 6th one. Yep.
Bad blood, brother.
Sorry, can't make it. Can't make it to the ATL.
Me either. It's all good. All right, guys. What do you guys think about Fall Brawl 1997?
It does matter.
Does it?
No. It somewhat matters. There were some matches that were just ugh, but there were some decent matches in there that made you want to stick around and just see what was left for the pay-per-view.
I think it was like 3 matches. It was worthwhile watching.
I mean, I had a fun time watching the show. Forwards, backwards, reverse, and upside down. Draw 2, Uno. But I would definitely say that the show does not matter because, I mean, I can't recommend it, really. I mean, if you're watching Nitro, if you're doing like a Nitro watch-along or something like that, and you're following a storyline, great. Have a great time with it. But there just wasn't enough. I mean, there's always something of value, and the something of value would be that Eddie Guerrero and Jericho match. And they, like I said, they took that and they put it on a separate DVD. You know, they've done that. Everything else, the things that we did like, we considered it too short. It wasn't enough of something to put on a DVD. You know, so the only thing you can recommend is that opening match, and sometimes one match is worth a recommendation, but for the entire show, it was, you know, the booking was kind of crazy, a lot of meaningless matches, a lot of matches that were not perfect. So as a whole, I wouldn't recommend it. But I'd like to know what Daryl Colassi thinks about it, because he's the one that recommended the show or asked us to review it. So what are your thoughts? I mean, maybe you, Daryl, perhaps have great memories of the show. Maybe you agree with our opinions. Maybe you do not, but you should, because our opinions are boss time.
3 different opinions. Do you agree with any one of us?
Choose your destiny.
Yes.
If you don't, the master and the ruler of the world.
Oh! I'm going to enter every room like that from now on.
Daryl! Oh my God!
Nitro.
Yes, Daryl, thank you for choosing this show.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. But I definitely want to hear your feedback. Hit me in the inbox. Hit me on the comments.
No inbox.
Audio.
No inbox.
Wow, no inbox. We want the world to see.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Put your comments publicly.
Let's see the world. We gonna show them what we watch. Cause WCW was #1, baby.
Yes. But you know what we're gonna talk about next week?
What we gonna talk about, baby?
We're gonna talk about the guy who's in the corner of the guy who is 21, who put the 21 in 1.
Oh my God!
No, not him.
We're gonna talk about a wise man. We're gonna talk about an extremist.
Kelly.
We're gonna talk about somebody who is living dangerously. We're gonna talk about the GOAT, the Hall of Famer. We are gonna talk about. May I have your attention, please? Paul Heyman. It's going to be a good one.
It'll be an excellent one.
Yes. John, what you think?
About what?
Are you ready?
I think next week's show is going to be great and one hell of a closer to the show, Dom. Much better than anything I could come up with the last second.
Yeah, I just came up with that. I don't know.
That's all right.
That's where to close it, Bubba.
In my book of rhymes. But until then, we will see you next week. I'm the Notorious One. I am Dom. I'm here at Poppy Platino. I am here with Strat Facts. And next week, we are talking about Paul Heyman. Daryl Colassi, thank you. We'll see you next time. Boom!